This is a podcast all about bringing you back to your body, your truth, your essence, back to the deep knowing within you, back to the sacred temple that is you. It's my hope that through these conversations, you start to explore your own truths, that you cultivate a deep level of curiosity, a love for your life, an exploration of everything that already resides within. Because I believe you already have everything you need within you. Sometimes you just need to remember. Hello, beautiful people. I am so excited to be here. Season 2, episode 1. And this just feels like beautiful divine timing. I have just crossed my 40th birthday, and there is this portal, I'll call it, this initiation that I still feel like I'm in, like this transition from 39 to 40, the closing out of a 39-year cycle for me. There's been so many, endings and completions and realizations that has come from this moment in time. And it feels like the perfect time to step into season 2. I'm excited to bring you all the wisdom I have accumulated over the years to connect you with some of the women that have been a part of my life, part of my experience, and have allowed me to calibrate to different ideas, new ways of thinking, and just, really be, whether they are still active in my life or whether it was a moment in time, just beautiful little calibration portals as well. And it's my hope that through these conversations, you find new ways of thinking, of believing, of tapping into the wisdom within, and are reminded of the deep well of wisdom that you already are. And so today we are going to kick it off with a conversation that I had with a friend of mine. It started with a question she had asked me. She's like, I just have this feeling that I need to ask you, what you would tell your 30-year-old self. And she's in her early 30s. I think if I remember correctly, she just turned 30. And so even though there's this 10-year age gap, it never feels like that when we're together. We're both very old souls, very steeped in wisdom. We're both 4/6 profiles in our human design manifesting generators. We can really sync up. And I really loved this question because even in the last year, the last 2 years, I feel like there's been 14, 15 iterations of me. There's so many different layers and things that I've uncovered within myself. And it really just gave me this moment in time to reflect on the last decade. And the thing that kept coming up for me at first was I don't even feel 40. I don't know what 40 is supposed to feel like, but I feel the way I remember feeling when I was 30. I don't feel 10 years older than that. It feels very resonant to me. When I see pictures of me when I was turning 30 and 31, I'm yeah, that's what feels similar. So I don't feel 40. I feel 30. And I feel like somehow I've been given this cheat code to life. In video games, how they have those cheat codes or the things that you can acquire or tap into, and it lets you skip levels. I feel like I've been given the cheat code to life. I've been given this opportunity to have this energy and overflow and excitement for life the way I did in my 30s, but with the wisdom that I've accumulated over the last 10 years. And that to me just feels in some ways, it feels like a miracle. It feels like this beautiful opportunity of complete magic. It just feels isn't that what we all want? We want to, we want to feel like we did in our youth, but carry everything that we've learned up to this point with us. When people ask you, would you go back in time? For me, it's always been well, no, because only if I can take what I know now with me. And so that's what it feels like it has been for me. But there's still so much that I would want to tell younger me, and not even just tell her, not have a conversation with her, but be able to almost imprint in her, like in her body, in her being, in her essence, in her field, exactly the way that it is that I feel now. Because for me, there's a difference between, intellectually understanding things and starting to integrate them and then really feeling them in our body, like feeling them, having this knowing, having this truth, and being able to move in conviction with something. And so I would want to imprint the feeling that I have now into her. But what I would also share with her, like some of the words that I would share with her is like, remember that you already have everything within you. Don't seek outside of you. You're going to want to look to other people or other places for, how to do things. But like the more that you can tap into your body, your truth, your wisdom, that's going to be the key to where it is that you want to go. Anything that you want to feel, anything that you think you're going to experience with somebody else, love, affection, intimacy, attention, like, yeah, you can get those from other people. But the richness, the depth, the exploration of that, like the honey, the sweet spot, is actually when you start to cultivate that within yourself. It actually expands and amplifies the feeling when it then comes from somebody else. And you can feel that and receive it in your body because you have learned how to do it for you. I would tell her that everything that she desires is possible, to never stop dreaming and really just let herself be that wild, creative spirit that she has always been, that's been so alive in her since she was a child, that she has shut down for a really long time. And that, it could be really helpful for her to do that with just her. But then there's this thing that opens up when you share it with others. Like, it's okay to dream. It's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay to be completely out of your mind, because that's where most of the miracles get created. I would remind her that she is wise beyond her years, and that even though sometimes she has no fucking clue what she's doing a great job. That, that internal knowing, that internal guidance, that internal wisdom is the thing to connect with, like the thing to let guide you, the thing to let lead. And in the moments where somebody else's idea or experience of you is different, like really hold on to that internal knowing, really trust yourself, really move with yourself. I would tell her to learn how to love herself fully, how to like really come into this understanding of who she is, to stop looking outside of her for validation and really start to love and honor not only the woman she's become, but the iterations of her, in her 20s, like to give lots of forgiveness, to extract the lessons and the wisdom, to really, decide what it is that she wants to carry forward and take that wisdom with her, but leave the pain of the past, really start to alchemize the things that she has experienced in her life. I would tell her that she can always trust herself, that anything that doesn't feel right isn't, to trust herself not to blow by the red flags or pass by that internal knowing, because eventually, those things are going to reveal themselves in one way or another and come back around. I would remind her that, she can't keep anything that's not meant for her. Not everything is meant to last a lifetime. That there are things that are perfect and are actually successful in their ending. That the ending of things does not mean that something failed, but just that it's in completion. And sometimes that is the perfect thing for your growth and your evolution. I would encourage her to ask the uncomfortable questions, have the tough conversations, and really step into the things that she feels like she can't do. Really explore why that is. What are her beliefs around that? Why does she feel like she can't speak up for herself? Why does she feel like those conversations are too hard? Why does it feel like not having the conversation is better than possibly losing the relationship? I would encourage her to learn how to hold deeper levels of disappointment internally and, in relationship with others. I would encourage her to work on her emotional intelligence, to learn how to hold her own emotions, to move with them, to hold herself no matter what, to ignite the spark within her of how to move in the deepest alignment and integrity. And I would encourage her to play to win rather than to not lose. I would remind her and challenge her in all the ways that she has been playing small, all of the ways that she has kept herself safe and hidden to avoid disappointment, hurt, and pain. And I would tell her to go all the way in on herself. And as much as I would want 30-year-old me to know all of that in every cell of her being to, get that time back, there's parts of me that wouldn't change anything about it. My 30s for me was a massive learning portal. It was some of the hardest times of my life. I personally healed, naturally and personally healed being diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is a hypothyroidism. My dad's death was such a portal of change for me. There was the experience of owning my own business. There was the experience of that partnership imploding. There was the experience of my emotionally abusive marriage. There was the experience of challenging relationships and friendships. But all of these experiences led me to where I am. So again, I wouldn't want to take anything back. I would want the experience of having all of the wisdom to carry with me. Because what those experiences led me to was a space and a time now that I really, truly love myself. I am now a woman that honors my truth, that knows how to validate her own experiences. I have claimed my voice. I have claimed the way that I see things, my perspective. I have claimed that I am a good communicator, a good writer. I have claimed that, I can share my experiences from my heart, that I can be felt and misunderstood, and I can expand through love, whether or not it is reciprocated, and that those lessons and those experiences are all beautiful portals. I know how to set boundaries and actually have gotten to the point where I rarely need to do that verbally. It's an energetic standard that I hold in my life. I have learned to move and alchemize my emotional pain, alchemize the past. I can witness the untruths in my energy. I can rewrite my belief codes. I can step into more of my own authenticity. I know how to take radical responsibility for my part in relationships and communication and experiences, any types of co-creation, which is everything. I've deeply connected back to my body in a way that sometimes blows my mind. I lead from this space with this inner guidance, this wisdom. I live in alignment with my human design. I trust myself so deeply. I've not only healed from toxic relationship patterns, but I'm helping others heal those same wounds with the wisdom that I have acquired. I have dramatically increased my awareness and ability to experience and express my emotions. My capacity to hold disappointment, to hold love, joy, fear, expansion, all of it it's been this wild sense of overflow and abundance. I know how to hold other people's projections and my truth at the same time. I've deepened every single relationship that I hold. I've broken down the walls around my heart and let it expand into spaces and places and oblivion in ways that feel so wildly uncomfortable. I've healed my relationship with the feminine, my sisterhood wound, my motherhood wound. I've healed my relationship with my inner child. I've matured my feminine and had deep, real, raw conversations with myself, bringing myself up to a standard and a way of living that feels like the most authentic, beautiful expression of who I want to be. I've rebuilt self-trust. I've untangled my validation, love, acceptance, and doing and achieving from my worth. I move with this conviction and love within myself that most of the time makes no sense. I've fallen in love with the bigness that I am. My heart, my thoughts, my ideas, my way of moving and being in the world. I'm no longer afraid to take up space and call forward space for other women that are ready to take up that space as well. I'm deeply connected to my divinity, to source, to the universe, to God. I know my inherent worth, and I have found peace, satisfaction, and success in my everyday experience. I have found ways to be bold and wild and free and tap into that little girl. It's those things like that I would never want to erase from the sands of time. It's those things that I have uncovered and revealed and moved into over the last decade of my life. And as much as there have been many moments where I had wished I had known sooner, or I wished I had have paid attention, or I wished I had have said the thing, or I wish I had have done something differently, there's also this deep trust in the timing. I'm so grateful that I extracted the wisdom, because there were many opportunities in my past where I had the opportunity to learn very similar lessons and extract very similar wisdom, but I didn't. And so I'm so grateful to be here in this moment in time and to be at this sort of like what feels like this meeting point of myself into this next era, this next evolution. And I am so grateful that I get to take all of this with me. And so if there are moments in your life where you wish you could go back in time, what I'm going to invite you into here and now is, can you just anchor in the appreciation of where you are? Can you anchor in the appreciation of all that you have learned? And if you feel like there is more wisdom to extract, look into the past to find that wisdom and alchemize the pain of what is there. Because when you extract the nuggets, the golden nuggets of truth that you were meant to learn in those experiences energetically, those are so much lighter and easier to carry with you in your future. And you get to hold that wisdom without having any of the pain in your being, without feeling weighed down from those experiences in your lifetime. And that's really what the soul craves. It craves this level of evolution. It craves this level of wisdom and knowing and learning and the experiencing of self. And what I hope that you get over time, and what I hope you come to realize in your own being, is it's not too late. You couldn't have known then what you know now. It's all in perfect timing. And now you get to live in the knowing of all of the wisdom that you carry with you. So what do you want to do with it? Thank you for listening. It's been my absolute honor and pleasure to have you here. If there is someone that you feel needs to hear this transmission, it would also be my honor if you shared it with them. I believe that through storytelling and our lived wisdom, we will start to come back into a deeper knowing, a knowing of who we are, a trust in what it is that we are guided to within. If we're not already friends, please come find me on Instagram at Exponential Alchemy, and I will see you on the internet.